TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant asserts that Israel will ratchet up its proactive war on terror while highlighting that all options are on the table. The United Nations warns that incidents similar to yesterday's clash in the Palestinian city of Jenin threatens to plunge the region deeper into a deadly crisis. The United States voices deep concern over Israel's intentions to move forward with construction of thousands of housing units throughout the West Bank districts of Judea and Samaria. Israel's defense establishment will continue to initiate offensive counter-terror operations against any sector from which threats against Israeli civilians and troops emanate. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, who visited 5 of the wounded Israeli Special Operations Forces from yesterday's mission in Jenin, essentially declared that Israel would ratchet up its operational pressure against terror elements wherever they may rear their ugly heads, and that all options to achieve that goal are on the table.
My instructions to the entire defense establishment and related to these matters chief most the IDF, Border Police, and ISA is to conduct proactive and offensive activities against any area from which threats against Israeli civilians and soldiers emanate. We will reach every place. And if there is a need, we will preserve our freedom of action in every necessary method. All options are on the table, and whatever is required to protect Israel's citizens will be done.
Prior to the visit by Jerusalem's top defense official, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also paid a visit to the wounded troops at the Rambam Medical Center in Haifa, after which he asserted that Israel's defense establishment is striking terrorists with strength and determination.
We are striking the terrorists with strength and determination. In recent months, we have eliminated and arrested a record number of terrorists, and this was the case during the operation in the Jenin area. Our forces eliminated several terrorists and arrested others. They were fired on from an ambush and acted in an exemplary manner. I have just visited the wounded, very impressive people. It must be pointed out that they come from all walks of Israeli society, and this must be seen: a Druze soldier, an Ethiopian soldier, and one who emigrated from Ukraine 10 months ago, alongside other soldiers. Simply put, it is moving to see them helping each other, shoulder to shoulder, and how they operated in the field in order to rescue their comrades. This is our determination, our strength, and our commitment to fight terrorism everywhere. We will continue to do so. When you meet these soldiers, you understand that the people of Israel and the state of Israel may certainly be proud.
It is important to know that yesterday's clash in the city of Jenin, which is located in the northern part of the district of Samaria, took place after Border Police special operators of the Hamas unit, operating both in covert and overt capacity, apprehended a suspected terror operative whose father, a high-ranking Hamas operative, is currently serving a terror-related sentence in an Israeli jail. And while the Israeli operators faced off dozens of militants who sought to obstruct their objective, the intended mission was rendered a success.
In counter-terror activity, we raided, with both covert and overt forces, a target in the Jenin sector. During the operation, we faced resistance by means of fire and IEDs by militants in the sector. While enacting massive fire and other tools, we successfully apprehended the wanted suspect and hit a large number of terrorists. The Hamas unit of the Judea and Samaria districts relayed strength to its wounded warriors who were injured during the operational activity. Alongside the security forces, we will persist operational activity with determination in any sector required for the purpose of foiling terror to protect the citizens of the State of Israel.
It is worth noting that in addition to the Jenin operation, which essentially eliminated 6 Palestinian militants, one of who was identified as a 15-year-old minor, and wounded over 60 others, a vehicle reportedly accelerated toward IDF troops conducting routine operation near the village of Nazlet Zeij. As a result, 2 IDF soldiers sustained wounds. Consequently, the IDF force opened fire toward the vehicle, injuring the driver and its passenger. They were subsequently treated by medical teams and transferred to a medical center for treatment, while an IDF investigation into the incident has been launched. Separately, in the village of Hussein, southwest of Bethlehem, a young assailant hurled a firebomb toward IDF troops securing a nearby motorway. The Israeli force responded with fire, eliminating the Palestinian assailant. As a result, a violent riot erupted when dozens of Palestinian residents of the village hurled stones and lit tires on fire, to which the troops responded with crowd dispersal means. During the course of the violent event, one Palestinian rioter was arrested for allegedly hurling a Molotov cocktail toward the Israeli troops. Meanwhile, IDF, ISA, and Border Police Special Operations Forces conducted counter-terror activities overnight as part of Operation Wavebreaker, during the course of which a total of 6 suspected terror operatives were apprehended throughout the West Bank districts of Judea and Samaria. Thankfully, no injuries were reported among the Israeli forces during the course of these operational activities. Meanwhile, at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the UN Secretary-General spokesman Farhan Haq cited a statement by the world body's Special Envoy for Middle East Peace, Tor Venesland, in which he warned that yesterday's escalation in Jenin threatens to plunge the region deeper into a deadly crisis.
Events in Jenin, following an Israeli security forces operation and the ensuing exchange of fire, which resulted in 5 Palestinians killed, including a child, and some 60 Palestinians and 7 Israeli forces wounded, at the very least. I believe those numbers are going up as we speak. Such escalations threaten to plunge the region deeper into a deadly crisis. Mr. Venesland said that all sides must refrain from actions that would further escalate the situation and take steps to re-engage on a political path.
Spokesman Haq further responded to a question about Israel's announced intention earlier this week to approve over 4,500 new housing units in separate areas in the districts of Judea and Samaria to accommodate a growing lack of housing. And while for the better part of 6.5 decades, these territories were officially recognized as territories under dispute between Israel and the Palestinians, since 2016, when UN Security Council Resolution 2334 was adopted, after the then Obama administration decided to abstain at the vote merely a month before leaving office, the United Nations altered its terminology of the so-called West Bank, referring to them as Palestinian territories occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem. Moreover, the resolution effectively rendered any Israeli presence in Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley, as well as East Jerusalem, as having no legal validity, and that it, quote, constitutes a flagrant violation under international law and a major obstacle to the achievement of the two-state solution and a just, lasting, and comprehensive peace.
Tor Venesland, the special coordinator for the Middle East peace process, today said that he was deeply concerned by the Israeli government's decision yesterday to alter settlement planning procedures that have been in place since 1996, which is expected to expedite settlement expansion. He is also alarmed by the anticipated advancement next week of over 4,000 settlement housing units by Israeli planning authorities. We reiterate that the establishment by Israel of settlements in the Palestinian territory occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem, has no legal validity and constitutes a flagrant violation under international law. Mr. Venesland urged the government of Israel to halt and reverse such decisions, which are a major obstacle to the achievement of the two-state solution and a just, lasting, and comprehensive peace.
It is important to stress that alongside the abstention of the United States at the time, the countries which supported the adoption of UN Security Council Resolution 2334, which essentially integrated the Palestinian narrative into international law, include France, the United Kingdom, Japan, New Zealand, Spain, Ukraine, Russia, and China, among others. Meanwhile, it is worth noting that yesterday, the United States also voiced its deep concern over Israel's decision to move forward with the construction of over 4,500 housing units in the West Bank. A State Department spokesperson also highlighted that the Biden administration is concerned by Jerusalem's decision to drastically shorten the process of applying for and receiving building permits in settlements which Washington, under the current administration, regards as illegal under international law based on Resolution 2334. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. If you're blessed by our productions and would like to help sustain TV7 Israel's ongoing operations, which are exclusively donation-based, please consider making a financial contribution. You can do so by visiting our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, we would like to encourage you to pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters worldwide, as well as for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Essen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you again tomorrow at the same time.